everyone, welcome back to the Botanical Queens YouTube channel. If you are new here, my name is Emily, and on this channel we talk about all things related to botanicals, herbs, functional tea, and today's video is going to be a little bit different. So today's video, I'm giving you a 1-week review of Celexa or citalopram.
Just a quick medical disclaimer, nothing that I say it can be taken for medical advice, and if you have any questions, please consult with your doctor.
I am not a doctor or a medical professional, and I am just sharing my experience while taking Celexa. So first I'm going to start talking about why I've been taking Celexa, and I'll talk a little bit about the side effects and things that I've noticed in the past week. And I will continue to share my updates while taking this medication, so be sure to hit the subscribe and the notification bell so that you won't miss an update. So let's talk a little bit about my mental health and where it's at. I've definitely suffered anxiety before and depression. Now, the last time I've really suffered hard from these two was last year, but it's been about a year since I've really had any kind of panic attack or any sort of depression. I remember in my chronic illness journey about 3.5 years ago, I had really bad depression, suicidal thoughts, and I had really bad anxiety upon waking up in the morning. My heart rate would be over 100, and at that time I was on the Mirena IUD birth control. Once I got that removed, I had felt so much better in terms of my mental health, but then I still had issues with ulcers in my small intestine, and that's something that we are still figuring out. So I've had anxiety attacks before. I know what they feel like. I know what heart palpitations, racing heart rate, those really cold, shaky, sweating, really bad shaking so that your joints ache really badly when it stops. I've suffered all of those, and I've obviously suffered suicidal thoughts. I had a counselor on BetterHelp for the last year, and this form of therapy worked really well for me, and I learned a lot, and as soon as I can afford it, I'm going to be seeing another therapist or counselor, but this time through my health insurance. So about 2 months ago, I started having this issue where when I was eating, I would suddenly get really bad chest pressure, no pain, just pressure, and I would have a really fast racing heart, and then I would start having the hot and cold sweating, and I would need to lay down because I felt like I was going to faint. I've been to the ER twice, and I've been seeing a doctor, and now I'm seeing a cardiologist. I've had like 5 EKGs, a chest x-ray, and a IV contrast CT scan, and my heart looks great and everything. I actually have a stress test tomorrow at the cardiologist, so we're gonna see, if my heart really is in good standing, which I think it is, but I don't know why these body anxiety attacks are happening. At first, I thought it was triggered by food, but then I noticed it would happen in the middle of the night upon waking up, and I don't really know, there's no rhyme or reason when it's happening, and I'm not necessarily anxious about anything. And that's one of the things, like when I went to the ER, they kept asking me, like, are you going through a lot of anxious things in your life right now? What's going on? And of course, I just moved from Pennsylvania to Texas, but I was getting really settled into Texas, and I was really happy with what I was doing and being able to be with my partner, who was previously stationed in Japan for the past 3 years. So I really had no rhyme or reason for why this anxiety was happening to me. And now I'm at the point where I'm working with my doctor and we're trying to rule some things out. So I am taking Klonopin. Just a disclaimer, I'm aware of the side effects of this. I'm on a very, very low dose, and I actually take half of what the recommended low dose is. And it's been working really well for me, but obviously that's not a medication I want to be on long term. And ever since all of this weird stuff has been happening with the chest pressure, the fast heart rate, when I stop taking the Klonopin, that does come back. I am really curious if any of you are experiencing these symptoms, and if you ever figured out what it was, definitely comment below. So my doctor prescribed me the Klonopin, and then he's prescribed me Zoloft. I took 1 pill of Zoloft in the evening, and it was the worst night of my life, and now we actually have it as an allergic medication for me. So it's listed as an allergy because I had really bad anxiety attacks all night, really bad shaking, sweating, a lot of confusion, heart palpitations, very fast heart rate. It was about 135, and it stayed there for a long time, and I felt really sick for a few days, very nauseous. I had a hard time eating, and it was definitely not right for me. So I took 1 pill, I stopped. So of course I told my doctor right after that happened. He said, don't take another one. We're going to list it as an allergy medication for you. And then we didn't really have another plan, I guess, or I was just kind of waiting till I would see him again, because I told him the Klonopin was working really well for me. So when I went to see him again, he said, let's try Celexa because people that don't do well with Zoloft do better with Celexa. Or you might know it as citalopram. So I'm taking the citalopram now. You can take anywhere, I guess, from like 10 to 40 milligrams. I am on the 10 milligram one, and actually I'm taking half a pill once a day. Just because I really want to start low and slow. So for a month, I'm going to try half the pill, and then we'll move to one pill, the full 10 milligrams, and see how it works from there. So I started off by taking it in the morning time. I wasn't really sure. I made sure that my partner was home with me and it was on the weekend so we can write and take note of any side effects, or if anything that requires an emergency happens, he's able to help me out. So I took half the pill, didn't really notice anything too much, and then the next day I took another half pill in the morning, and I did notice that I had a really bad headache all day long, really bad, like my whole head. Maybe it was kind of like a migraine, I'm not really sure. I could have personally been drinking more water. I can't say 100% that it was from the citalopram, but it could have been. I don't often get headaches, and so it was really rare for me to have a headache, and I kind of attribute it to that, to be honest with you. However, since that day, I have had no headaches whatsoever. I do want to say right now in my mental health journey, I am not really dealing with anxiety or depression at all. In fact, I've been doing better than I have been in years. And the thing is that I'm dealing with this body anxiety that I can't control, and I don't know why it's happening. I don't know what's triggering it. I don't know if like something's wrong with my central nervous system. So hopefully we can get to the root cause of it and figure out what's going on. So other than that one day of headaches on Celexa, I haven't really had any other negative side effects. I haven't had any digestive upset. I haven't had any brain fog. I haven't had any of the listed side effects that people can have. I should also note that I do have Crohn's disease, and I know that having diarrhea and stuff like that can be a side effect of Celexa, so I am really happy that it hasn't been that bad. Now, I do want to say a benefit that I've noticed this past week, and I'm not sure, again, if it is from Celexa or citalopram, but I have been working like nonstop, and I'm someone who deals with chronic fatigue. I can hardly do anything during the day sometimes, and I have really bad brain fog, and I just have a really difficult time getting through the day. This past week, I have had more, I wouldn't necessarily say energy, but I just haven't been fatigued, and I've been very focused. I've been able to work on a lot of my creative stuff, including my YouTube channel. I have something new coming soon that I'm not going to announce yet, but I've been working on that, and I've just been able to do all of these things that I've been wanting to do, and I just pack it through the entire day. And in fact, I was neglecting my partner for the past week just because I was working on so many projects and teaching and all of that. So I'm just saying the citalopram was the only new thing that I had really introduced into my lifestyle this past week, and I'm not going to say or self-diagnose that I have ADHD, but I have a lot of symptoms that are similar and aligned with ADHD, such as short and long-term memory problems. I have a really hard time focusing on tasks. Even in my YouTube videos, when I'm filming, I will start talking about something else, and then I'll totally forget what I was talking about. And I know a lot of people have this problem, but this is something that I'm supposed to be, like, there was a point to why I was saying it, and then I just can't remember. And I just haven't had any of that this past week. I've been a better teacher. I've been able to teach my students more effectively because I can think more clearly. And I'm really excited if it is from this Alexa, because that's really great. I had neglected my apartment that I'm living in, and it is like totally clean and organized right now, which is fantastic. It feels so good to have all of that done. And like they say, a cluttered space is a cluttered mind, and hopefully a decluttered space can be a decluttered mind, because that would be really great. So yeah, that's all I really have to report on with my week 1 of Celexa. I told you guys why I'm taking it, the side effects that I noticed, but also some of the positive effects that I've noticed too. Now, I do know that it can take weeks to months for the full effects to kick in. So again, I will be back here probably for a 1-month update unless I notice anything else that's different, or I stop taking it, or I switch medications or whatever. But I'm someone who, like, I never thought that I would be on an anxiety or a depression medication, an SSRI. I will say I was taking Kana, which is a natural kind of SSRI herb. I did stop taking that because there is something called like a serotonin syndrome, which is very, very dangerous. So I'm just taking the Celexa and the Klonopin as needed. And yeah, I will certainly be back here to update you guys and let you know what happens next, what I think of it, how it's working for me, and I just can't believe that I'm noticing some of these effects. So if you are really discouraged and scared, definitely talk to your doctor about it and start low and slow. I know some people jump into like 20 milligrams and stuff like that, and that's at the discretion of your doctor, but I explained to my doctor that my body's very sensitive and I was really scared after the Zoloft situation what was going to happen, and I waited a whole week and a half until I even tried it because I was so scared. If you liked hearing about my review, hit the like button, leave me a comment below if you've noticed any weird side effects from Celexa, or if you've noticed any of the symptoms that I've been dealing with that pertains to anxiety, and I would definitely love to hear from you. Remember, we're all botanical queens, and I will see you in the next video. Look, we have a crown now. I found this in the Target holiday section and I really like it. Let me show you. It's so cute. It's actually a tree ornament, but I wanted to use it for the video. Remember, we're all botanical queens, and I will see you in the next video.